So looking at this place, it's at 606 Jackman Avenue. There's the front facing the street, but go along the side. That could be a fence there right behind. But it looks to me like a water drainage ditch because there's just so many of them. There's no adequate draining in Los Angeles. It doesn't look like a road. But then look at that, and you go right there. There's the fucking opening right to the park. So he could have easily traversed that on foot, though I don't know where he was found. So I looked up the address. This is 606 San Fernando. And the other one says 606 Jackman Avenue in Sylmar. So I don't know what the heck that is. So just to see what it would say under permanently closed, I decided to call the Blake home. And I didn't quite get what it was saying on the voicemail. So because it kept giving me this message and I couldn't remember what it said, I kept calling the number back. And all of a sudden a woman answered, "Hello, Blake home." And I was really surprised because it said permanently closed. And so I kind of told her that, which she didn't have any idea. They are in Sylmar now, and if you send anything by mail to the San Fernando location, it will get returned to you. So I told her how it's showing up online that your Sylmar location is showing as permanently closed and your other location is open. So if they're getting the mail returned, I don't really know how to fix it, but people are going to think that you're not there. So we kind of started chatting that way. Janie and Samuel Blake are the owners, and she told me, that they're still there. They've been there for quite some time. And finally I said, well, I am really surprised to get a human on the phone, and I'm really glad to hear that you're still there. I was just calling back. I kept calling back because I was trying to write down what your outgoing message had said, because it even sounds on your message as if you're permanently closed. But I'm actually calling about a friend of mine that was there, and he was, and she's like, "Oh, are you calling about Freak?" Of course she knew before I could even get it out that I was calling about Freddie. And I said, yes, I am. I'm very thankful you answered the phone. I never was expecting to speak to anyone. I thought nobody was there, and I just can't get it out of my mind. Did he leave there purposefully, or did something happen to make him leave, or was he still coming and going? And she said, what happened was, unfortunately, they wanted to put him into some sort of rehabilitation program. She didn't specify what it was, and he didn't want to do it. And they were paying for everything. And it said, his caseworker filed everything they're paying for. And all he had to do was go to this one treatment, and he didn't want to do it. So you could definitely walk. She said, oh, we could see him. There's a bench right there. So he walked over to the park and sat in that bench in view of them, from them at the Blake house. And that was, in fact, where he was murdered. They don't know anything about that, but she just said, we're all brokenhearted because he just needed to take that program so we could continue to, be sponsoring him. And when he wouldn't do it, he was broken. We were brokenhearted, and we could see him sitting on the bench in the park across the culvert. She's like, yeah, you could walk right over there. And the other thing because I mentioned that he always had a backpack, and she just adamantly said, no, he had nothing on him. He did not have a backpack. I'm like, well, he always had that backpack, so obviously someone stole that from him. So those were just kind of got some answers for me that no, he wasn't there. They had to ask him to leave because he wouldn't participate in one of the rehabilitation programs, and they were all really upset, and you know, they found him right there on the bench where he liked to sit. So it's really been kind of closure for me because I didn't know why he left. I just didn't know what happened to make him leave the house, and so I'm really grateful that she spoke to me today, and that is the update.